Hello and welcome everybody. So this is the video of my 1956 John Deere 60 that I just purchased. I bought it at the Florida Flywheelers Antique Tractor and Engine Club from an older lady that her husband had passed away and she was looking to get rid of it for about $1,500. And I came up and asked her what she wanted for it, and she told me because I was younger and that I had a really strong interest in the tractor and she really liked me, she would give it to me for $500 as long as I promised her that I would take care of it. As you can see here, the tractor was parked just 16 hours shy of 4,000 hours the last time it ran. These are just some pictures of it at the Florida Flywheelers before I loaded it up on the trailer and brought it home. As you can tell, this tractor has definitely sat for a long time, and I can't quite tell exactly. She said that it has sat for the last 5 years in their possession, and that he bought it from an old man up north somewhere. She said she couldn't remember, and it sat for quite a few years there on the farm. So I would not be surprised if this tractor has sat every bit of 15, 20, 25 years. Here are some short clips of me and my buddy Cornbread hauling the tractor home later that day with his 6.4 Power Stroke. Once I got it home, this is where we had to park it because the rear brakes were locked up on it, and I ended up tying a chain to the pine tree you see over there on the edge and pulling it off the trailer with a chain attached to that pine tree. You can see the chain here. This is after I started taking parts off of it to see where we were, what was going on with it, how bad a shape it really was in. The biggest thing I noticed though when I was taking this tractor apart is there was quite a bit of gold colored fine like dust, like silt, like really fine dirt. And now to the best of my knowledge, this dirt is common area of like tobacco land country, and that would refer that this tractor would be something of like a Carolina tractor. So more than likely it was quite a bit of a field use tractor, and would use quite a bit in the field to cultivate and plow and disc and the whole 9 yards. Here you can see a lot of that fine gold dust powder that's covered in everything that I was speaking about. And like I said, that would be quite indicative of a like tobacco land, like Carolina soil. Here is even more of that gold dirt that had gotten caught up right in front of the radiator around the steering column. As I dropped the oil bath cleaner, the oil was actually quite black and didn't really have any water in it, which I thought was a really good sign. had my John Deere 40 backed up to it because we were going to try to do pull start of sorts. I hadn't really looked at any of the clutch or anything quite yet, but I was going to try to pull start, at least get it moved out of the position that it was in. And here is where I finally got it up into the barn after pulling it and dragging it around the yard and then figuring out that the brakes were locked up on the tractor. This is what was left of the clutch by the time I pulled it out and I realized that the clutch was long gone. As you can see, there's quite a bit of clutch material that has rusted on and in between everything in this clutch, and it's definitely going to have to be ground down or sanded off very carefully, so that I don't destroy any other surfaces while I'm at it. Now this is the inside of the cylinder that was on the right side of the engine if you were sitting on it. Now that intake valve on the right side of the engine was stuck open, as you can see here, and obviously it had let water and bugs and leaves and everything into this side of the engine. And I had a really big concern, and still do, that the engine would be too far seized beyond just some minor trying to get it to spin over and putting it back together. And like I said, here you can really see what the difference is between the two cylinders. The other left side still has quite a bit of cross hatching in it, and it still looks like it's quite useful, but we'll have to see just how much of that rust I can get out of the left side, or the right side of that cylinder. Here is me labeling bags and writing names on the bags so I know which bolts and nuts and springs and parts come from which side, so I can put things back together neatly. This is quite a major concern of mine. As you can see, the Bendix on the starter is quite well rusted in, and it's definitely going to take quite a bit of work to get this loose and working again. You can see here that the Roll-O-Matic front end still works, and it was actually still greased up quite nicely. But if you notice, there's two different size rims there. The one that would be on the left side would be a 4x16, and the one on the right is a 5x16. Here is the back side of the hydraulics. You should notice that there's no plugs in it, and the PTO lever is froze up, but the hydraulic lever seems to be loose and functioning. Here's the seat that has completely rusted off. The battery box is completely rusted off, and I should just be able to order a new battery box and put that old seat frame back on it with some new seat cushions. Here are the brakes that I have pulled off of it. Parts of brakes, there's a headlight. You can see another cover for the flywheel sitting in the bin. This is the cylinder head once I got it pulled off the tractor, because I wanted to open the engine up to see what was wrong with it, if anything was wrong with it. And of course I found all that rust in that cylinder. Here is the inside of that cylinder head, or the side of the cylinder head that would be facing the cylinders, and you can see the rust was pretty well coated on there. Now, I'll be honest, it looks a lot worse than it actually is, and it's really not that deep. It's quite just much as surface rust. And here's the dual induction carburetor. And this is the spark plug that came out of that cylinder that has all the corrosion in it. This is the serial number on the tractor, and it seems to come up and show that this, I believe, was around the 200th from the very last John Deere 60 that ever rolled off the production line. thank you guys for watching, and I will be releasing more updates on the John Deere 60 as progress is made. Hopefully here in the next couple months I can have it running and driving around, but I don't think a full restoration will take place for at least the next year. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.